My name's Alex Wesley. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Arovia. I've been featured on CNBC and Entrepreneur Magazine, recognized as the creator of this new large and portable display category, where we have patents granted in nanomaterials, optics, and mechanics. So this is a totally not AI-generated image of me in the bottom left there of my former career as an optical engineer and product manager, spending a lot of time working in client sites, clean rooms, hotel rooms, and needing a way to have a large screen that I could take with me anywhere. And it didn't exist. And that's until now. We created Display, the world's largest portable display. We're selling it for around $1,000, but we have plans to have the $300 versions with a relatively minimal investment. It also drastically improves eye strain. So I'm going to put down my stuff and show you how it works really quickly here. So it just goes in this protective case. And it gives you a big, bright, high-resolution screen you can use anywhere. It's also the most eye-friendly portable display on the market, which is why people who are visually impaired love it. We've sold 1.6 million over just 5 months of availability. Our flagship customers include the Air Force, the Army, the soccer team Arsenal. We've been featured on the Today Show and CNBC, and we are the most viral product at the biggest trade show in the world, the Consumer Electronics Show, for the last 2 years. Ultimately, as we reduce the price, this is something that can feasibly be in every home and business. We also have a SaaS component that we sell in the trade show market already. And there's also opportunities to license our nanomaterial for other displays. So one of our visually impaired customers had the idea of putting it on traditional displays for the eye strain benefit. It can also be used in flexible solar panels. Simply, we're the largest portable display. With the nanomaterial we developed, as we get bigger and bigger, like the 35-inch screen you can see in our booth, which is 2 times larger, our weight negligibly increases. And so we have competitors coming out, like from LG, we weigh 10 times less. That's 30 pounds. Ours weighs just 3 pounds. Our go-to-market's B2B, B2B2G, trade shows, DoD, and the visually impaired. But there's a huge B2C playbook once we have the price point down. I've been at this for 10 years, literally working at factories, living at factories. We've reached a point over the last year where we started making it and we're selling out faster than we can make it. Team includes expertise in mechanical engineering, optical engineering, supply chain management, and B2B sales. Our advisory team includes a few of our angel investors, and the industrial designer was the original designer of Dell and compact laptops. Ultimately, we're turning this into a huge platform, monetizing the nanomaterial. Within the next few years, we'll have the 399 version and versions up to 100-inch, touchscreen versions. You name it, we can execute on it. And then within the next 5 years, the display industry's a really frothy exit opportunity. We see a huge potential to have a relatively early exit. Oh, back. We're Arovia, and we give you the freedom to do more and more places. Check us out in booth SS4.
Hey, my name is Yuval. Great pitch, very quick. I know you're short on time, so I got things that relate to go-to-market, market share, and COGS.
Okay.
So go-to-market, you showed the U.S. military or other military or government organizations. Are they your major target market? If yes, what's the conversion rate, conversion time, and the time it takes you to get a contract done? And then what's the average size of those contracts and the usage?
Great question. So we're contracted with a prime contractor called ADS, as well as a few resellers. Where we're finding product market fit is in these flyaway cybersecurity kits, where they need to pack it up and get the hell out really quickly and show teams of 5 people data. There's a reason they have the dual use. It's taken a few years just to even get it on the programs of record and things like that. We're anticipating volumes of 500 to 2,000 over the next year. We're in the final running for a Navy-wide contract for maritime security. So we've sold a bit there, but definitely opportunities for thousands and tens of thousands as we go. And it could be our major market if everything goes well.
And so if they're a small piece and they take long, what's the major piece of your clients and how long does it take to acquire through go-to-market, et cetera, and costs?
Yeah, so the visually impaired does quite well for us. So we're signed with a Swedish distributor that's a 9-figure company. And so they're pairing us with all their portable magnifying devices. And like I mentioned, the eye strain benefit is quite huge there. We acquired them pretty quickly, but that's because our VP of sales, Taylor, his background is in visually impaired. So that's where he did a lot of his sales. So it's been a few months, and now we're contracted with them, and they're placing a large pre-order.
Right. And last one, what's your total COGS now, and what do you expect them to be later on as you scale?
That's a great question. Right now, it's about 400. It's about $50,000 or $100,000, so it's definitely part of our use of funds to reduce it to about 300. And then it's about $1 million project to do a totally new projector to reduce the cost to around $100 and get a $300 mass market version.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good pitch. I really like the level of details you shared, both on financials and the go-to-market. I'm kind of wondering, do you see your product in direct competition with the projection products, where you don't need the hardware? Basically, you can project on any surface?
Yeah, that's a really great question. When we did the National Science Foundation I-Core program, a bunch of customer interviews, and we still regularly talk to customers. When we talk to people who bought Pico projectors, our portable projectors, they just never use them because maybe you can use them at home, but the whole point of a portable device is that you can take it out and use it everywhere. So if you had a car that you could only take to the supermarket but nowhere else, it's not as valuable of a car you could drive to every state. So this is a car you can drive anywhere and take it with you and have confidence. So that's the main barrier that we've seen in that market and why people aren't adopting it. But you can remove the screen and use it as a projector, so you get 2 in 1. It's the only product you can use both as a display and a projector.
All right, thank you.
Hi, my name is Ernesto. Great speech. Thank you for sharing.
Great question.
How is your product IP protected?
We have 13 patents granted. We've also, because nobody knew how to make our product, we had to set up the supply chain from scratch. So it's already very disparate. We're the only ones who know how to make it. So we have 13 patents granted. We have a strong supply chain where things like the nanomaterial, extremely difficult, fabric. We even had to invent new types of glues, like crazy stuff. Like this product was new fabrics, like extremely non-trivial to make. So we have both the IP and the supply chain that mitigates that risk.
And related to the last question, you talk about the projectors. What about the glasses, for example? Glasses?
Yeah, I think maybe my language is that from an anthropological standpoint, there's a lot of people who don't like to put on extra hardware on their head. And even if they do and it gets mass market, there's always going to be a place for shared group experiences where you need something that everyone can see. Great question.
Great, thank you.
Where is supply chain right now? Where do you manufacture? Or is it distributed?
It's all over. So we do final assembly either here or in Vietnam for the military. The projector, pretty much all portable projectors are made in mainland China, but we're actively moving things out there. Our most expensive component, the lens, is made in Taiwan from a top 5 lens factory right now. But yeah, it's a non-trivial supply chain. But we figured it out. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Juan Jurado Blanco, co-founder and CEO at Clockout, where we're embedding for the first time earned wage access into financial institutions. 7 in 10 Americans are currently living paycheck to paycheck, and instead of recurring to high-yield payday loans, they've been using earned wage access through employer solutions to cover daily expenses, rent, and other unexpected emergencies. Since COVID, earned wage access has been increasing 95% year over year, and although employer-integrated solutions are the current status quo, financial institutions have been completely left out of the equation, although 73% of consumers would use an on-demand pay service offered by their bank. And they haven't relied in delivering this solution because they don't have the right infrastructure to do it, and spinning it up by themselves is very hard and complex. And after 3 years of experience in the space, going through employer models and direct-to-consumer models, we're the first to market in delivering earned wage access infrastructure to both banks and credit unions, where they can spin up their own EWA programs in less than 10 days. And for consumers, this is the most consumer-first approach there is. People have the service conveniently available in their most trusted bank application. They're able to use it at multiple jobs and from job to job as they progress their professional career, where for the first time, we're removing employer solutions out of the equation. And for financial institutions, we're offering a service that enables them to generate customer primacy, compete against bigger banks and neobanks like Chime and Vero Bank, and also monetize the service through deposit income by acquiring new direct depositors with the service, through transaction fees for instant advances, and also cross-selling other services. If we do a simple business case of a bank or a credit union with over 50,000 customers, just with the transaction fees and deposit income segments, they can generate over $2.5 million per year with this service alone. And these monetization strategies get bigger as we close larger and larger FIs. And our pricing model is very simple. We charge the financial institutions $2 to $3 per month per user that enrolls into the service. Our target market are financial institutions between 600 million and 20 billion in assets. These are credit unions, community banks, and regional banks in the US region. And right now, we're closing our first deal with First Bank of Richmond, a $1.6 billion in asset bank based in Indiana, among 3 other deals in the next quarter as well. And we've already secured key partnerships to continue to scale and serve this space with Q2, Fiserv, and Jack Henry, and many more to come. And we're just getting started. Beyond being the first to market and integrating on-demand pay into the banking core level, we're able to be the first and take first mover advantage into this market, which builds our big distribution mode here with long sales cycles and big partnerships to continue to scale. And that's our strategy here. After getting traction in each ecosystem, we want to evolve these relationships into reselling agreements on all these banking cores where we're able to reach over 250 million users nationwide. And our vision here is really to be the Zelle of on-demand pay. This already happened before. In the P2P payment space, you had Venmo and Cash App as your third-party market solutions, and then Zelle came out, which was the bank-offered solution that was free and instantly and conveniently available into their bank applications and displaced the market. And that's the same inflection point that we have in the space. You have your employer-integrated solutions. You also have your cash advance and direct-to-consumer solutions, but Clockout is creating the first quadrant where people can access their funds as they work from their most trusted bank institution. And they're positioned to dominate and enter the EWA market because they already have the distribution channels. They have a 10x distribution wedge that we're leveraging. People can use it whether employer involvement from job to job, and it's integrated into their most trusted bank application. We're a team of 6 people with over 3 years of experience in the space, 20 years developing, and over 18 years selling to national banks, community banks, and credit unions as well. We're wrapping up a $2 million seed round, and we're backed by multiple venture funds. Shout out to 161 Ventures, Front Porch, Brickyard, among others, to launch the product, get our solution into 10 FIs, and continue to scale and become the gold standard in bank-offered earned wage access. Thank you.
Great pitch. What's the acquisition time it takes you to get to a bank and the transition to convert, and how do they react to the product initially?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, on the reaction, banks have been looking for on-demand pay solutions for a while. But they don't have the technical infrastructure to do so. They actually rely on pre-made digital banking apps that a Q2 or a Jack Henry offers. And essentially, we pre-integrate our solution there to be able to serve them and bring in for the first time EWA. The sales cycles range between 9 and 12 months, right? And it's a strategic sales process. So we first find an introductory call, right, where we introduce the opportunity. If there is an opportunity, we're fit really into their strategic initiatives. We find alignment among their executive team. and then deliver a contract proposal with very simple implementation times. Our pre-integrations into these cores make it as little as 2 weeks to get the product up and running into the bank app. So, and that's kind of our primary function here, like to make it as easy as possible for them to offer this, because we understand that they're not in the technology business, they're in the finance business.
Who is the champion usually in the bank? Which function?
Yeah, so it could be the chief innovation officer, their chief information officer, their head of retail, typically, also COOs, chief digital transformation officers as well. That's typically what we've seen.
CIOs usually don't make decisions. I mean, champion that says, I want it, and then make a decision.
Yeah, so a lot of CIOs that we found in conferences like Money 2020 and FinTech Meetup, they actually do evaluate new solutions for their product stack. And for us, that's the main door opener, right, to get into conversations of all the different stakeholders, whether it's marketing or the digital banking side or the product side as well.
Then who signs off after the CIO? Who says, yes, I want?
Yep. Depending on the financial institution, sometimes the CEO, and the one that we're signing right now, it's a COO, actually. But it really depends on the size of the institution and the team.
Hi, great page, thank you. What is your acquisition cost per client? I mean,
typically we're seeing a 9 to 12 month cycle with $100,000, annual salary. I would say for a head of sales or head of growth. That's typically the acquisition cost that we're looking at. But as we launch the product into market, we'll be able to refine that for sure.
And what would you say are your key milestones for the next 6 to 12 months?
Our what, sorry?
Key milestones?
Yeah, so at least on the commercial side, now that we've closed a good amount of funding, is getting the product rolled out. What the bank industry want is validation, right? So we're creating multiple successful case studies for earned wage access because they want to know, how does earned wage access perform inside my bank application? We've done employer models before, so we actually provide them a case study like the one we showed you in the presentation. But it's key to see, how many people are signing up, how are they advancing, how many are new depositors into the FI? Because once that's done, that's all the validation we need to continue to get this product into other FIs. Because everyone asks, just like an investor, who else is in this, right? Who other bank is doing this? And that's exactly kind of the market strategy that we're doing right now. And we're going to get it done in the next quarter and closing 4 to 6 more. We just brought in a new head of growth, Armando Quintana. He's been selling to banks for 18 years. He has a huge Rolodex of customers where we plan to refine our sales strategy to shorten the sales cycles and also get more FIs through the door, which is top of funnel is, I would say, the most challenging part, right? How can you get 10 minutes with a VP of strategy or digital banking at these FIs?
Yeah. How many current customers do you have?
Right now, we're signing our first customer, First Bank Richmond.
Okay.
They're based in Indiana. And then we're also signing Republic Bank, City National Bank of Florida, and Oxycon Bank.
And how long does it take to onboard those customers?
So for First Bank of Richmond is going to be a 14 business day cycle, so 2 to 3 weeks. They use Q2, and we're pre-integrated into their marketplace. So it's as simple as once they sign the contract, they request our platform in the marketplace, and it takes 10 business days for our pre-integrated solution to get deployed into their digital banking environment.
Okay, great.
Great pitch. Quick question. Obviously, you said it's a 9 to 12 month sales cycle. So do you find yourself need to start with a pilot first with a bank?
100%. What banks want to do, especially right now that we don't have a product in market, they want to see a proof of concept or a pilot period where we typically offer the product for free between 2 and 3 months. And that includes the implementation process as well. And one of the good things about our solution and what we do is that we actually also give them pre-made marketing assets like in-app marketing banners, social media posts, blog posts as well, and like email sequences, for example, to get user activation as fast as possible.
And it's a free pilot, you said?
Correct. Free pilots, and then we charge $3 per month per user that's enrolled. And kind of the typical ACVs that we're looking for a 50,000 customer bank range between $300,000 and $400,000 per year.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
My name is Blake Richardson. I'm the CEO of Cortech Solutions, where we deliver technology for those who serve. Today I'm going to be talking to you about EaseAlert, our flagship dual-use technology, which notifies firefighters of response to a 911 call in a healthier, more effective way. So my dad's been a firefighter for as long as I can remember. I grew up around the firehouse, and I've seen the toll that the job takes on him. Every third day when he came off a shift, he's pretty worn down. But you may not know this. When you call 911, your local fire department is going to be notified of that emergency, all hours, day and night. And they get notified with a traditional loud blast, similar to a school bell or a fire alarm. And this actually leads to the leading cause of on-duty death for firefighters, which is heart attacks. In fact, firefighters are up to 14 times more likely to die of a heart attack during alarm response than non-emergency duties. And that's why we created EasyAlert. So we replaced that traditional audible blast with a vibration on your wrist and red lights throughout the station. And this is intended to mitigate those auditory startle reactions. But we reached out to scientists to understand what is the actual health impact of this system. And we received a grant from the National Institutes of Health to conduct a clinical trial led by some of the leading researchers in firefighter health and safety. We found that tactile alerts improve self-reported health impacts of alarm response for firefighters by 169%. We also saw that it improves their, if I can click, might be dead. There we go. It's also less startling for those firefighters, and it improves their response capabilities. Today, we've delivered over 150,000 alerts to firefighters across the United States in both the civilian and defense spaces. We've reduced turnout times for structure fires by 21%, and we've reduced overall response times by 45 seconds or more. This is the difference between life or death in certain emergencies. Our business model is upfront revenue for hardware and implementation, and then recurring revenue for software and support. We do have 4 SBIR Phase 3s for those in the audience who are aware of the SBIR program. That is a direct award in the defense space, a sole source contract. We do have 3 patents around our technology as well, and our pipeline is up 800% year over year. And this is a little snapshot of some of the fire departments who have reached out to us asking for EasyAlert at their departments. As I mentioned, I'm the CEO, but I'm surrounded by a phenomenal team of operators as well as our advisors. We have subject matter experts in the public safety, defense, and more defense. And right now we're raising $1.5 million on a seed round. That's to improve the product, compete against some of those big companies we're going head-to-head against, improve our sales and marketing brand awareness throughout the country in both the civilian and defense spaces, and improve our operations capabilities. Thank you very much for your time. Open to any questions you have.
Hello, hello. This one works. All right. Great pitch. So similar question. So tell me, because you're selling to kind of government, sub-government, what's the sales cycle from all the quotes? What's the conversion rates? And then the go-to-market and distribution.
So as far as the sales cycle, we've seen anywhere from 18 months to 12 hours. It depends on where they are in the process. Traditionally, you're going to see 12 to 18 months for a government sales cycle, but we actually have resellers, some of those big competitors I mentioned. They actually sell our technology to enhance their system. So we get purchase orders that we don't even know about the client until it's time to deliver yesterday. So that cuts down our sales cycle a lot. And what was the other question you had for us?
So the conversion rate, and then if you mentioned resellers, what is the margin they take on top, and where does it leave you in the value chain?
So we have about a 15% conversion rate overall in the pipeline to date, 1.5. If it was 50, that would be excellent. But it's 15 right now. We expect those numbers to increase as our brand awareness increases. Resellers take about 20% margin off the top, leaves us with still about 60% margin on the whole, conservatively, sometimes as high as 75% on this.
And what's the average deal size usually? And is there like more purchasing after they purchase the first deal size?
Yes, average deal size is about $50,000 to $100,000. We've had deals range from 20 to $500,000, 20K to $500,000. And then there is plenty of options for repurchase. In fact, that's pretty common, especially in this space with the capabilities we continue to roll out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. What's the size of your addressable market, and how you plan to capture it?
So just in the fire service alone, 87.8 billion. There's 14 million firefighters in the world, but this doesn't account for our adjacent markets, which include the warfighter, hospitals, fulfillment centers, loud machinery, oil refineries, steel mills, tons of applications for this technology. We're starting with firefighters, but there are a ton of adjacent markets we can get into.
And who are today your biggest competitors, and what makes your product unique?
So our biggest competitors are the companies you've heard of in the communication space, Motorola and the equivalents. We compete head-to-head with them. We've won some contracts direct against them, but we also compete alongside them as an enhancement to their communication system. So that's part of the reseller network. And so they don't have the wearable tactile communication. And that's really where we leverage ourselves. We're the only ones who do proprietary wearables and personal devices for the communications. We're also the only alerting system that's wireless. Every other alerting system on the market has a hardwired endpoint to hardwired devices, speakers, lights, et cetera. And that makes it really difficult to install, makes our system much more scalable. And that's what sets us apart.
Great pitch. I don't have any question, but I just want to commend you on your opener with your personal story of your dad. Very, very powerful.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the time, judges. Thank you, everybody, for your time as well.
Hello. Hello, Miami. Hi, my name is Aman. I'm co-founder and CTO of Lamatic AI, and today I'm here to talk about how our platform makes SaaS companies build AI 10 times faster. So in the last 10 years, I have built 3 SaaS companies at the age of 27. And the most important lesson I have learned is the importance of speed. The faster startup build a product, the faster they learn, the more chances of their success. And this is even more true in the today's day and age of building AI products. As Jensen Huang said, and CEO of NVIDIA, that intelligence is going to be the new layer of IT. That means every SaaS company, every business will have intelligence added to their product. But building AI product is not that easy. It requires complex infrastructure, hiring expensive talent, and as you know, AI is always changing. That means things are breaking. All in all, when you build your first MVP, it takes around 6 months and over $100,000 just to get to the first line, and you are not even there yet. The bigger problem is every company over here who says that they are adding AI into their product is going through the same cycle over and over again. They are building the same abstraction layer over and over again. We had the same challenge when we were building our own AI application. That's when we built Lamatic AI, a fully managed platform that helps SaaS companies, early stage founders, build AI products and embed that into their applications. This is how we do it. We connect with different model providers, data vendors, and app integrations that makes it easy for anybody to fetch data from anywhere and add into their product. Then our managed layer help you build all the features that you need in a very easy to use UI interactive platform. And once you are ready, we also help you deploy your application to high performance serverless edge. We call this layer intelligence middleware. And this is how it works. Our end-to-end platform is designed so that you can build any AI features, chatbot, search, generation, text, unstructured data, using different AI components and assemble them like pieces of Lego blocks. And all in all, you get an application that is highly performant and always available. Our business model is simple. We provide a product-led offering in which developers and tinkerers can try our product for free. And then once they are ready to go in production, they can subscribe to our $100 per month plan. But most of our revenue comes today from our enterprise sales that accounts for $10,000 to $30,000 in annual contract value. The success has been amazing. In our 5 months of launching at TechCrunch Disrupt, we have been growing 150% month over month in terms of our deployment, which is what we use our KPI as. And we just last week crossed our $100,000 ARR benchmark. But more than numbers, what really matters to me is how much customers are liking it. It's much better for 10 customers to like your product than thousands to just like, love your product than 1,000 to just like it. Customers have reported 10x improvement in their development cycles and over $50,000 savings in annual expense on building AI products. And this has been also noted by mainstream AI companies in the market. I was at NVIDIA GTC last week, and I had an honor to meet Jensen Huang himself. And we are working with these partnerships, and these are not just the logo, but actual ISV clients that we are going to start onboarding onto our platform. And we have also been recognized by mainstream technology media and have won several awards like Product and Product of the Day. What's awesome thing behind this all growth is the super awesome team of seasoned tech entrepreneurs. I have exited 3 companies, and my co-founder Chuck has exited 2 companies. And all our team is engineers, and we don't have any marketing and salesperson, and they are busy shipping the product. Just last week alone, we launched our 2.0, and that has already been adopted by 500 new users. So we welcome you all to join our rocket ship, visit our booth at SS32, but not just investors, but all the AI builders over here that try our product for free and experience and bring your ideas to life with Lamatic AI. Thank you.
Hey, great pitch. First of all, your developers, are they here locally or are they?
It's hard.
Your developers, are they here in the States or in-house, or are they
So
third
it's all
party?
over the world. I think the best talent is everywhere. So our developers are in Dubai. We have one of our engineer here in Fort Lauderdale itself, and then a couple of them are in India as well.
Gotcha. And are you currently profitable?
No.
Okay.
We are operationally profitable on our tech stack, but obviously we have made investment in terms of talent and our infrastructure. So
Okay. And so what is your customer acquisition cost? And in terms of the funding you raise, where does that get us in terms of profitability?
So we raised $500,000 last year, which
Okay.
was used to build the first MVP in just 3 months, and we launched it 5 months ago. And for the product-led model, our customer acquisition cost is around $2 per customers, and this is mainly spent on SEO. But most of the customers come from organic traffic, like our launches and mainstream media that publishes. So we partner with different AI vendors like IBM, NVIDIA, Cloudflare. They create content for us, and they also send ISV partnerships. And on the sales-led side, we don't have any salesperson. Chuck is our CEO is the only salesperson, and most of the inbounds convert to our sales customers themselves.
Okay. And the money you raise, I guess, when does that get us to profitability?
We expect to do 1 million ARR by the end of this year. We are raising a seed round right now. I'll be happy to discuss the terms of that round as well. But we have a pipeline of 30 plus customers, and we have all these different things that we are going to build. Equal amount of this would be sent into customer adoption, engineering, and sales.
Gotcha.
So, great pitch. Question about growth. So you've shown all the growth per month, but the ARR is 100K.
Yep.
So of course, from 10 to 20, I'm founder myself. How do you see this growing and the round going, and how do you publish versus your growth of other companies and many other solutions that offer what you're offering, and how you diversify your go-to-market or branding or acquisition,
Yep.
especially with your go-to-market as founders and developers?
Yep. So that's a great question. And so all our competition is also in their early stages. There are almost 5 notable ones. We have won the deal against 3 of them, and 2 of them were acquired last month alone. So one was acquired by like IBM itself, which was DataStack, Langflow, and then other one was acquired by Salesforce and killed and made Agentforce. So like you can see that there is a trend going on over here. And sorry, what was your second question, Anand?
Funding, how do you use it, how you diversify, because
How do
maybe
we
those 2
diversify?
or 3 were acquired, but there will be others.
Okay, so we are the only platform in the market that deploys the application on the serverless edge as well. So we are the only Cloudflare kind of partner. Everybody else is building their AI application on Python, which requires a lot of infrastructure, Kubernetes, and Docker to deploy. We deploy everything on serverless edge, and we serve 3 million requests at this day every month. So we have that capacity to scale even with like a small engineering team. And then how we acquire customers, we work a lot with the communities. So I'm myself head of GenAI Collective Miami chapter, and we did a hackathon just 2 nights ago. So we work with developers, most of them convert to our customers. So the high adoption kind of like comes from where founders like me are hanging out on Product Hunt or different product forums. So our strategy is very similar to how Supabase or Vercel increases their product adoption.
So final question from my side. So you mentioned you're a third-time founder. Where did you take those companies? What revenues did they reach, or were they acquired?
So, okay, well, only two of them were successful. One of them was like kind of a pivot and was acquired. So my first company was a web development company in the high time of internet was just coming to India. And I made it easy to deploy WordPress website. This was acquired for a very nominal figure. I was just a college student at 17 at that time. So this was acquired by an internet company. And my most recent exit was Twimbit. It's an account-based marketing intelligence firm. And we serve to Fortune 500 companies.
Just wish to you and Chuck and the rest of the team great business success.
Thank you.
Hi. Go ahead.
Great pitch.
Thank you.
Quick question. What is your customer churn?
None of our customers have churned, but only on the free plan. Developers try, they don't use the product. It's kind of up to them. So usually we right now are retaining 70% of our customers who join on the product-led platform.
Got it. And how long does it take to produce one application?
A week.
A week?
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi. Well, congrats for your previous experience as founders,
Thank
for
you.
all of them. With the boom of AI, what are the biggest challenge you anticipate facing in the next 12 months?
So we have an internal metrics we call R2D, which is research to deployment. AI moves very fast, right? There are like thousands of white papers that comes out every month, and there is a new model every minute. So my challenge as the CTO is to stay ahead of the curve, and our goal is that we want to bring the most powerful AI capabilities into elegant simplicity, so that our customers don't need to worry about, oh, they are missing on the AI features. And that's why we launch a lot. We launch every week, and there has been around 40 deployments in just like last month alone. So our key to success and like for staying up to date with our customers is making sure that we are aware of all the recent like kind of uncommon updates in AI, whether it's MCP, new models, new strategies to build things. So just to give you a context, DeepSeek, as soon as it was like tiered as the benchmark, it was available on our platform in 3 days. So that kind of advantage gives us to like give better features and better offering to our customers itself. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I hope I see you at our booth. Thank you.
1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. All right, guys. Hi, everybody. My name is Yoni Rubin. I am the CEO of Margin. What we're doing is we're increasing restaurant profit margins, small business in general, but starting with restaurants. Everybody here probably already knows that the restaurant space suffers from slightly thin margins. Small businesses fail at an alarming rate. And we asked ourselves why. And we identified within the market, the broader small business market, we talked to a lot of them, about 1,500. And restaurant owners raised their hands and said, geez, like everybody in this room, everybody all the way in the back of the room is all dealing with 80% margins. That's what we're aiming for. These guys are aiming for 5, 10, 15% margins. This is why the restaurant business model just simply doesn't work. And I think we're all pretty familiar with that. So why is it so dire right now? I'll just point out one thing, all right? The last 5 years since the beginning of COVID, inflation, anybody feeling that by chance, right? Our eggs are like 4 or 5 times the price they were. Thank you, Mike. Last 5 years, we've seen the same inflation we saw in the preceding 15 years, all right? And that's what restaurant owners are dealing with right now. So we built Margin to identify profit centers within the restaurant automatically leveraging our own proprietary AI. What it does is it finds areas of inefficiency, underperformance, so on and so forth, and makes suggestions. And it's all premised on your internal SaaS systems. But the key here is that we do so based on the economy, the actual market dynamics of what's happening outside of your 4 walls. We've got a great wait list. We're just getting started right now, launched about a month ago, give or take. We've got a wonderful deal with the city of Miami that I'll explain in a second. Standard SaaS, I won't dwell on this too long, but our team is fantastic. Myself, I've spent about 15 years as a head of business operations, taking part in a lot of fundraising, including an IPO. Chaim runs our engineering team in Israel. They are just unparalleled. Sarah and Mike, fantastic. Mike, who has 3 or 4 exits and $600 million in value under his belt. And then we've got Des, who used to run IHOP and Safeway, who's on our board. And in the next about week or two, we'll probably have one of Wendy's board members on our board as well. But we are looking to do a lot more than just restaurant tech. So we're going very vertical right now, but we're looking to get into small business. 33 million small businesses in the US alone. If you happen to be a restaurant group owner, talk to me afterwards. You probably know about the insane amounts of data that you get from systems like XtraChef, Margin Edge, Toast, and so on. We make sense of that. We tell you what to do, and we do so in the context of what's happening in the real world. We're on our path. We've got a lot of design partners, big deals in the pipeline right now. We've got the city of Miami, as I mentioned, in terms of economic development. We've got 7-Eleven in the pipeline, Taco John's. We've got about 15 restaurant groups, 2 of which are going national over the next couple of years. Probably a lot more than I'm not even thinking about. We're raising about $2 million right now, or we're raising $2 million right now, I should say. We're just about closing. But what we're looking to do in this world is really just replace what we all know as business intelligence, all right? Who here, raise your hand, seriously, if in the last 5 or 10 years you made a business decision based on a graph? I don't see one hand, all right? I asked my data science team the same question the other day, and we all kind of laughed. All right, so we're handing these bite-sized, actionable insights, very contextualized to the real world, to restaurant owners today, eventually retail. We'll continue going upstream from there. Thank you very much. What's up, guys?
Hey, great pitch.
Appreciate it.
Understood problem. Question about how do you analyze the data? So basically, how do you connect? Do you connect to their procurement software? Do you connect to their management software, financial software? How do you get your insights?
Great question. Probably one of the most common questions. So we are very...
Not that intelligent.
Yeah. One of the things that makes us very unique is that we draw from your, let's say your QuickBooks Restaurant 365, your accounting and bookkeeping systems, because what we do is we make your financial model the underlying asset of the platform, meaning we know what you did in the past. If you started today, we'll give you your projections for the next 5 years, but it's all under the hood. And then we pull in all of this information about what's happening in the real world. Right now, we're focused on the economics. So inflation, taxes, live inflation rates, supply chain issues, commodities pricing. So for example, if butter goes up 30 cents a pound right now, most restaurateurs don't know that. We actually pull that information. We know exactly what the proportions of ingredients are in their menu. And we tell them, hey, 5% of this dish is butter. You can stand to increase the price by 4 cents in order to maintain or exceed your current profitability. So that's just one use case. But we're moving into labor costs, weather effects, and so on.
So once you have insights on COGS, which is major, and rents and all the other things, do you think about having a marketplace for procurement as well?
Absolutely. We've already got that kind of in the works. Not only that, but pull together an entire small business hub that not only recommends vendors for procurement purposes, things like that, but also surfaces small business grants that you're already eligible for. Click a button and apply right away without filling out a form, because we're the only ones who have all of your data. We sit on top of everything.
And assuming also fintech lending and plus 30, plus 60 payments, and the rest of it. Okay.
Yeah. Those are all kind of like the obvious off-the-shelf ones, and we have a more complex partner program that will address more.
Great pitch.
Appreciate it.
And I'm kind of curious, let's say I'm owning a pizzeria, right? And I have your software installed. What type of actionable insights I can get that can really make a difference in the short term?
Yeah, so in the next week or two, we're going to be releasing the technological answer to that in a way that shows you right in front of you. It's going to say on my tablet that I'm going to wear on my chest when I walk into your pizzeria, it's going to say, I already knew before I walked into your restaurant how profitable you are today. If you take these insights and implement them tonight, this is how profitable you'll be tomorrow. All right. The insights themselves are all pertaining right now to the economics of your cost of goods before we tackle labor costs, weather, competitive landscape. What's that similar restaurant around the corner doing? You're going to want to know.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hi. Great product and presentation. How much are you charging per installation or?
Great. So I didn't want to dwell on that and spend our time. So good question. So our blended rate is $162 per month. Per location is the important piece. I'll come back to that in a second. The 3 tiers are $59, $129, and $299 a month. Basically, we are we're poised, and the pricing scheme is built intentionally to grow with your restaurant group as long as your intention is to grow as well. So our design partners right now are 2 restaurant groups that are planning on going national over the next 2.5 years. Naturally, as they open more locations, we draw more revenue and continue from there. Now, very important, by the way, on that piece is that this is a very PLG, product-led growth pricing scheme right now. We have plans in about 6 to 12 months when we hit a certain inflection rate to flip the switch on a revenue-oriented pricing scheme.
Thank you. Great product.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
In terms of your targeting, your ideal customer, do you specifically target, restaurant chains, or moms and pops are out of the picture?
This really gets into the intricacies of the psychology of everything. So we're targeting restaurant groups with between 3 and 20 locations. Everyone asks me why. All right, think about it. The restaurants that have 1 or 2 locations, that's more of a B2C consumer kind of play. It's heavy maintenance, right? Things like that, tough sale, maybe not as technologically inclined or business inclined. Anything over 20, 25, maybe 30 locations, you're already probably doing about $100 million in revenue a year, which means you've got heavy ERP systems that we're not going to integrate with tomorrow. All right, it'll happen eventually, but not yet. The sweet spot is right in between, 3 to 20 locations where you are a sophisticated restaurateur. We're literally just joined, we just had a restaurateur in residence join our team. Full-time job as he runs an entire restaurant group of five locations or so. Every morning he wakes up and loads up his toast export into ChatGPT manually every day. All right, so gives you an idea of the type of persona that we're going after at first.
Thank you.
You got it. Yeah. Audience question. Thank you.
Hello. Imagine a massive box of Lego pieces with no instructions. This is the real estate development process today. Millions of possible combinations, but only a few are truly optimal. Teams are flying blind and hoping for the best, and yet 90% of the projects fail. Let me take you to a real success story. A modular construction company came to us frustrated. They were assisted by a robotic line, but their design process was lengthy, unsustainable, and inefficient. Their business was at risk. By implementing fully Nidus Lab, we were able to improve all the KPIs. Weeks of work into minutes. We cut waste material. We wiped out any trace of human error. The result, a 25x profit. Not in theory, in reality. Oh, I'm struggling with that, okay. So I'm Ana Lozano, founder and CEO of Nidus Lab. With over 20 years of experience in architecture and real estate, I saw how broken the system was. I created Nidus Lab out of an urgent need to innovate, to tackle the most pressing challenges: industrialization, decarbonization, and most of all, affordable housing. Nidus is not just another design tool. It's an output as a service with a hybrid powered by our own proprietary AI, with a business model that combines a subscription and a pay-per-use, serving developers, architectural firms, contractors, modular construction companies, and we allow them to scale as they grow. Okay. We could tell you many other success stories on the architectural design project side. Our AI is able to iterate 100,000 design times per second, comparing to the human capacity. For sure, we are not alone in the space. We are really focusing on the client's pain, not only focusing on automation, but especially on optimization. So far, we have been able to secure the biggest players in the Spanish industry, helping us to fine-tune the product and to accompany them on their pain. We've been around for less than 2 years now, but have been awarded with many important awards in the European space that have given us the trust and the opportunity to expand with a small team, but full of rock stars, including my CTO, Salva, which is one of the main computational design developers experts in the country. So as I said before, we've not been around, we've only been around for 2 years now, but we hit profitability from year one, and we are now, we've bootstrapped until now, and we are on the path to grow, expanding in United States, in the rest of Europe, to grow through a positive impact. Thank you very much.
Great pitch. Yeah, I know. It's too interesting. So you hit profitability just understanding the life cycle sale, average sales price, and with the revenue model. That's the thing. So money-related stuff.
Yeah, thank you. So so far, I mean, being not very much in the scene and building the product together. So far, the revenues have been mostly through paid pilots. So we are about to hit the recurrent revenue yet by licensing those products. And so the life cycle so far, we didn't have the time to implement marketing strategies because our reputation has helped us. So the clients are looking for us and they're coming, knocking on our door to see come and find us. So far the life cycle is, the adoption is quite long. I mean, it's a real disruption technology. So the sector needs to adapt to how it's going to impact on the rest of the company process. But so far, I must confess that we just needed to be there and wait for the clients to knock on our door, implement the solution, and so far our churn has been 0.
Quick one. I will be very quick. Great presentation. Could you please a little bit more elaborate of what is special in your AI or about your AI? You've said that you have something special or like proprietary. A few words about the AI.
Okay,
AI component.
So yeah, this is very important because when we started, we knew that machine learning and foundation models were not going to be of help in this industry because we have very fragmented data, very inconsistent data. We have a lot of players involved. So we knew that we needed to focus on the algorithms themselves. So what we have built is a sequence of algorithms using different codes depending on what tasks they needed to perform. And what we are trying to do here is to emulate the design process. So we've been working hand in hand with the engineers and try to emulate. The big difference is that one engineer is going to iterate once and is going to be happy enough with the result. We have an algorithm that being able to iterate 100,000 times every second, we can cover millions of opportunities, and through a scoring system is where we retain the most optimal options.
Thank you, makes sense.
Can you talk about the financing round, how much you're raising, why you stop bootstrapping, where the funds will be allocated?
Okay. So far, as I told you before, we were able to bootstrap because we hit profitability from year one. We weren't expecting to grow so fast. So we, instead to obsess on scaling, we really wanted to build a great product and to make sure to have the perfect market fit. And since we found it and we are now ready to scale, we are going to raise for the first time at the end of this year to fund the international expansion. So we haven't figured out yet the number we are going to raise. Maybe it is going to be around 1 million. We don't need much more than that because we have an expectation to reach 900,000 years of revenue this year. So it's going to be allocated mostly to international expansion, to sales and international expansion.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Luis Santiago. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Pegasi. Whenever one of the 20 million patients that are diagnosed with cancer every year is diagnosed, the perfect storm brews. And navigating it is super hard. We don't have any lighthouse to guide us where we're supposed to go. We experienced this in firsthand with the death of one of our co-founders of cancer in 2022. He was diagnosed late, 11 months it took us to get there. So the problem is when Jean-Pierre was diagnosed, the numbers were stacked against him. He had an 8% survival rate and an intervention that costed $134,000 before he lost his life. If we had gotten there early, his survival rate would have been 81% in an intervention that would have costed $30,000. So how can we get to cancer patients' diagnosis and treatment faster? The answer is digital navigation. We created a method that's called charting safe travels through cancer in what we call safe ports. The first port is using AI to calculate the risk of a large population to have a certain type of cancer. And those patients who are qualified as high risk are taken to early detection tests. When we finally diagnose that patient might have cancer, we take them to an oncology tumor board where the case is discussed and the treatment is fixed, and then we monitor that treatment inside of the hospital to make sure that it's delivered on time and precisely. So digital navigation is scientifically proven to reduce the treatment costs, increase patient adherence, increase operational efficiency for centers, and increase, with these three, the survival rates of cancer patients. We have an AI-driven web-based platform that's customizable for any cancer case and has an ingrained BI dashboard that can help centers make better decisions. We also comply with the standards that you see on your screen, so that means we can enroll a platform anywhere in the planet immediately. We are in the global digital oncology solution markets in a subset that's called digital patient navigation on a SaaS B2B model, where the average price that we could charge for our product here in the US is $500. So meaning we have 2,000 patients that we monitor, we already have a revenue stream of $1 million recurring revenue. So in terms of traction validation, we have $850,000 in revenue, doing 1.3 million by the end of 2025. Currently in 5 countries with 18 clients, Roche, MSD. Auna is the largest oncology holding in Latin America, went in the New York Stock Exchange last year, and over 200,000 patients managed. Our team has expertise from IBM, Amazon Web Services, Deloitte, Ernst & Young, Elsevier, Digital Science, and we are sponsored by several institutions in oncology, both in Latin America and the world. We are looking for $1 million seed round by Q4 2025 in order to digitize 10% of the cancer data, both in Latin America and in the world, and with that, further train our AI models, both to predict which cancers, which patients are about to develop a certain type of cancer, and also to suggest best treatment options to physicians as possible. In Pegasi, we believe that navigating cancer to safe harbors is possible. Join us on this amazing mission. Thank you very much.
Great pitch, and
Thank
the
you.
problem is very solid. Obviously, you have a personal story that drove you to start the business. I love the way you use metaphors to bring it to life.
Thank you.
And I'm curious a little bit about the first stage in the journey. You mentioned you have a pool of patients that basically you do the initial. Can you talk a little bit about that first?
Yeah,
step?
great. Thank you very much for the question. What we do, we create a concept that's called a campaign. We create a campaign both for a single type of cancer or multiple types of cancer. So when the patients enroll in that campaign, they sign a consent form. in order for us to analyze their information. And when they consent, we send them a questionnaire. It can be 14, 16 questions. With a questionnaire and their answers, we get a prediction tool that's based on AI, also based on NCCN, American Cancer Society standards, to evaluate whether the patient might develop a cancer in a certain time frame. So when we get that result and the patient is qualified as high risk, that patient is taken into early detection testing algorithms. So we manage the entire workflow until we know that the patient might have cancer, so we refer them specifically to the physician. Just for example, in lung cancer, we use an algorithm that was created by Dr. Tamemagi in Canada. And if we get a patient that has a high risk, then we take him directly to get a low-dose CT scan and analyzing the nodules that we might find using AI, and then that allows us to make the detection whether the patient might have a cancer or not.
And my last question,
Yes.
do you have any other techniques to penetrate the market other than the campaigns? So it's more kind of part of the institution?
Yeah, we also work, we don't necessarily start in stage 1. We, for example, for clinics and hospitals, might start in stage 3. They buy our oncology tumor board. They use the digital tumor board to make more efficient the discussion of cancer cases and fix the specific treatment. And this is something that we're working on right now. We are working in an AI-assisted tumor board where we help the physicians using real-world evidence make decision on which is the stage of the cancer and also make decision on which is the best treatment line that's recommended by the literature.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a quick question. What is your sales cycle like? Because it seems like a pretty complicated sale. Just wanted
Yeah. No, great. That's a great question. Usually in healthcare as a whole, sales cycles can go between 9 to 12 months. We're currently, and after the pivot that we did last year, we stopped selling that much to hospitals and clinics. We started working more with insurance companies, and we call what we call vertical integration, HMOs here in the US. So that means that the incentives throughout the entire production chain are really aligned. So that has taken our sales cycle from 9 to 12 months to 6 months already.
Hi, related to the last question, I was curious about who is your client, who is the user, and what's the acquisition cost per client?
Thank you very much. In terms of, it actually depends on which is the part of the journey that we're tending to. For example, we're tending to stage 1, like early detection tests and prediction of risk. We usually work with like very large healthcare systems, and we work with very large insurance companies as well that want to predict risk. If we're starting working in stage 3 or 4, we're usually working with hospital, clinics, and pharma companies as well that we accompany, for example, doing clinical trials. So it actually really depends on which is the journey that we have to cover. We usually do 1 to 4, specifically for large HMOs, equivalents in the rest of the world.
So great pitch, very powerful. I'm sorry for your loss, and I hope this will save many more lives. One question I wanted to ask is, you said you worked on predictions. Do you do any ongoing monitoring? Because you started to work with insurance company, what I thought is great. Do you do any ongoing monitoring or ongoing predictions or smaller focused populations?
Yeah, we do. And thank you very much for your question. When we start monitoring the patient, we get the diagnosis in the tumor board. That patient is automatically, their entire treatment is monitored inside of the platform. When the tumor board assigns a treatment, there's a list of activities that have to be completed in a certain amount of time. When the patient's activities are not completed in that time, the platform automatically starts sending automated and smart alerts to physicians and service providers for them to know that they are not complying with the time frame that was set for that specific treatment. For example, we in Chile have a law that's called HES, which is an explicit guarantee of healthcare. If centers don't start their treatment in 45 days, they get fined. So we actually have that. It's kind of similar to the 5-star evaluation that you have on Medicaid for the quality of service provided. So centers, we really want to avoid that. So there's where you can actually align the incentive to the patient of being treated early with a physician. So we actually monitor the entire workflow of that center to make sure that those activities are performed on time. Thank you very much.
So, have you ever struggled with the frustration of procurement, that it's slow, complex, and full of inefficiencies? Hi, I'm Matias Andrade, co-founder of Simba and a procurement expert. We are making procurement easy. Companies still rely on emails, spreadsheets, and disconnected systems. This leads them to high costs, production risk, lack of information, and to be slow in their processes. Procurement should be fast, seamless, and data-driven. That's why we turn procurement into a competitive advantage. Simba is a B2B SaaS platform that transforms procurement with intelligent automation, reducing sourcing time from months to minutes. We cut costs by up to 45% and reduce operational processes by 70%, making procurement 10x faster to ensure businesses stay ahead of market changes. Now let me show you how we're doing this. Simba solves what legacy platforms can't, centralizing all the procurement operations into one powerful intuitive system. No more silos, everything in one place for seamless adoption. By connecting buyers with the right supplier instantly, sourcing becomes faster and precise. This enables bidding in 2 minutes instead of 90. Delivery are fully coordinated, ensuring zero disruptions. That's why 70% of our users switch from legacy giants to Simba. Simba redefines procurement by combining the agility of niche players and the scalability of legacy giants without the high costs. The future of procurement is here. In just 2 years, we expanded into 5 countries with 15 clients and more than 45,000 suppliers. In times of crisis like pandemics and wars or supplier disruptions, we kept our clients' production running, avoiding shortage and generating for them more than 5 million savings. Simba operates on a subscription-based model, charging an average of $12,000 per year per company, creating a scalable and predictable revenue stream. We will expand the monetization with additional revenue streams like sales management, dynamic financing, and power negotiation. This model maximizes retention and scales profitability. Our revenue is scaling fast, from 20,000 in 2023 to a projected 2.7 by 2026. We operate with a 900 customer acquisition cost, a lifetime value of 84,000 per client, and 80% of gross margin. The B2B procurement market in LATAM is massive, worth 12 billion. We focus on 3 million SOM, targeting under-digitized markets, high volume procurement, and strategic focus in Brazil, Mexico, Argentina, and Colombia. With the 25,000 companies ready for transformation, we are set to lead. We drive growth through 3 key channels, showcasing real results to our clients, educating the industry and setting ourselves apart, and driving high-quality leads through strategic partnerships with procurement chambers, embassies, that leads us to a conversion rate 20% better. And we have the perfect team to execute this vision. Simba is built by buyers for buyers. Our team brings together more than 40 years in procurement, software development, and scaling startups. We are raising 1.7 million to scale our operations, expand market, and maximize our growth impact, and reach 8 million revenue for 2027. Simba is transforming procurement across LATAM. Join us in scaling the future of procurement. Thank you.
So Matias, great pitch. Very known problem. Great that you're solving.
Yeah.
My question is the following. So you're building a two-sided market, I assuming suppliers and the procurement.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you get them to adapt fast into your platform? And 2, just out of curiosity, who are the major players that like to use the system? Like which industries?
We're mainly having clients today in food and beverages industry, but we also have construction, waste management, mining, and our client, when they register to the platform, they invite their suppliers. So we are retroalimenting the platform with suppliers, and we also have a team that they are seeking for suppliers for our clients.
So it's a network effect that helps you to be built.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Just a very quick question. What differentiates you from, let's say, an Ariba?
Ariba, great question. First of all, Ariba is like a silo in SAP. You have the different parts of the process in SAP, but they are not connected. So Ariba is only a bidding process, and we are focusing on the centralization of the information. So the company is the owner of the information. It doesn't matter if the buyer leaves the company, you will have the information. And in that information, you have the material, the validated suppliers, and all the biddings and the history. So if you want to buy something today, you will see the history, the price that you paid last year, the previous year, the suppliers that you were using in the past.
Since you were talking about Ariba as a Copa, how is your integration process? How long it takes and how much it costs?
Well, the cost depends on Copa, Ariba, SAP. So we have only one integration up to now with our clients. The rest of them mainly switched from the systems to ours because we can integrate with SAP. We can replace, yes, SAP Ariba, but not the rest of the ERP that they're using. So we integrate directly to them, and it depends on you which part of our process you want to use. Sure.
Great pitch.
Thank you.
What is your most effective customer acquisition strategy?
The most effective that we were able to try is to contact embassies and procurement chambers and educate the industry. So we're educating them, showing how it's a way to do it better, and then they contact us to help them transform the way they operate in procurement.
So that education, you meaning webinars,
exactly.
White papers,
yeah.
Thought leadership.
Exactly, yes.
Got it.
Blogs, or giving them information about the markets or what's going on in the world that can affect them in their supply chain. Because we can trace where the materials are coming from, so we can alert them of if you have a lockdown in China, you have materials that are coming from China, you will have a shortage, and you need to go for new suppliers.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. Ramiro from Tuki. We do U.S. immigration. Here in Miami, we're very familiar with U.S. immigration, typically a frustrating process. More than 2.5 million people undergo some sort of immigration process in the U.S., whether it's family-based, work-based, naturalization. Typically, it's not great. When you talk with people and you ask them how did the experience go with their attorney, typically it's slow, frustrating, they don't know what's happening. It's a very stressful process by itself, and right now status quo is not really helping with that. That's what we are doing. We are combining experienced attorneys with technology and AI just to make it much better, right? Much a faster process, more transparent, streamlined, reducing manual mistakes, basically. Around a little bit on market, it's around $7 to $8 billion spent every year on the U.S. immigrations, attorneys. If you go to employment base, it's around 4.5, and then a subset of visas we started with, it's around 1.7. And then generally, this market is about small law firms, right? There's around 12,000 law firms in the U.S. managing U.S. immigration. Most of them are 1 to 2 attorneys handling 100 cases per year. They are not really scalable. They're doing everything manually. Of course, they are also struggling, right? Because they need to do sales, they need to do marketing, they need to manage their own team, they need to be the lawyers. So as soon as they get, some volume, they also struggle. It's not that they are, wanting to do it bad. It's just like really hard to do this without a lot of technology. Okay, so basically what we are doing, that's a screenshot of our platform. We are, to start with, giving them, our clients, a lot of transparency in terms of exactly what's happening. You can see exactly, at each document, who is doing what, who is working on that, how much it's going to take, if you need to get it. It's much more in an organized way. And remember, these procedures sometimes are like 1,000-page long, right? So it's a lot of work to put this together. And right now, people are doing this with, emails, with Google Drive, lack of transparency, very easy to make mistakes. And a mistake here is really, really expensive. Like you might need to pick up your kids from school and leave the US the next day because someone messed up on one document, right? So it's really, there's not really much room for error. Okay, so we started officially in October of 2023, 18 months ago with our first client. In March, we got 110K in sales. So we are basically quadrupling last year. We didn't want to grow fast last year on purpose because we wanted to make sure we built a really scalable system that could keep quality while scaling. And now we are comfortable with that. So this quarter is going really, really well in terms of growth. And yeah, basically we are 16 people right now with the team. Myself, my co-founder leading all the technical part, and Jose is our advisor. He has been doing immigration law for the last 10 years. And he has been with us since the beginning, just helping, tailor this process and making a really great platform. That's it. Thank you.
So great pitch. Just wondering if this is a software for management for law firms or for end consumers, or because I'm kind of confused on the who do you sell to and the model and all these things.
Yeah, perfect. No, we sell directly to immigrants and companies for their employees, right? We hire attorneys. Because in order to really change the way this industry operates, you cannot just do it with software. You need to change the entire way of operating, right? Like attorneys are not thrilled of their clients seeing if they are taking 2 or 3 days. So it, just to change the overall thing, we went directly to consumers and companies.
It's two-sided workflow. Basically, you hire to get the attorneys. You get the person like me that is an immigrant, sees the status and my action items. And then you charge both sides or one side, or
no? We only charge immigrants and companies. Essentially, for us, attorneys are hires. Like we hire them and we pay them. So we are competing actually with law firms, and we're going directly to consumers. And we still provide them with immigration attorneys, but with all the additional workers. So essentially, we are a highly tech-enabled service company at the end of the day, right? Like just applying that to make everyone way more scalable and competing for that consumer market.
So like Fiverr for immigration, or Marble that does this simple for legal in order to create this and create scalability for everyone in workflows.
Yeah, it's basically creating a very scalable law firm at the end of the day.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Hi, what's the price?
So the price, and you can go to our website and there's a pricing calculator there. It's different per case, but we are charging a very similar fee that other attorneys, like with attorneys. So our value prop is not about being cheaper, it's about being much better. So just to give you an example, a typical visa application is going to be like $10,000, more or less. Like that's the typical price for, again, these complicated processes that are like 1,000 pages to put together. So we are basically charging the same.
Yeah, because I was wondering why an immigrant should go with you instead of a lawyer who is integrating more technology in their process.
So I am yet to know a lot of attorneys that are integrating a lot of technology in their processes. So essentially, our competitive advantage is like we give you exactly the same attorney that you will go to, but you have all this workflow to make it more transparent, better, faster, and just have higher quality petition. And overall better experience, right? That typically is really, really bad.
But at a similar price, right?
What, sorry?
But at a similar price?
Yeah, same price. Yeah.
Great pitch. I'm kind of wondering, you said you bring the attorneys. So is there any kind of FaceTime, like a video conference with the client, or it's all...
Yeah, no, the attorney is there from day one. So basically, we don't take any client until one of our attorneys has had a strategy meeting with them and verified that they are a good case. And they have, FaceTime with the attorney. So it's not that, two keys in the middle and you don't have access to the attorneys. It's on the other side. Like what we are doing is we are automating all the annoying work attorneys do, so they actually can have way more quality time with the clients, and actually it's like more, it's very tailored and,
So you basically direct, the client to a local attorney in their city.
Yeah, but it's not a marketplace. Like we choose our attorneys and we want to manage them. Look, this process is broken. And our thesis is that to solve it, we really need to manage the entire thing. You cannot just do like a piece of technology and say like, okay, good luck with this guy. So we have our entire operations team in-house, and actually we're developing all these relationships and actually bringing attorneys full-time just to make sure like the entire thing is good, right? Like our vision is not, okay, an AI agent that is going to do self-serve and you're going to trust that with your immigration and your family. It's more about you really want a human overseeing this, and sure, like, expanding with a lot of AI and technology, but we think that what our clients want is like a high-touch service where you can actually get that exposure, and we make it scalable with our technology internally.
Great. Last question is, obviously when an immigrant goes through this process, it's a one-time thing, right? So you need to figure out how you can bring more.
B2B, actually. That's one of the big things of this year, going to B2B.
Yeah.
Because, immigrants do their visa and then they do the green card and that's it.
Yeah.
But companies have a lot of employees, right? So that's recurring.
I see.
And also we're doing partnerships with like Techstars, with Endeavor, with other organizations that they actually have all these cohorts of people coming and going. So in B2C, the actual recurrence is with the partners and the distribution channels. And with B2B, well, that's actually recurrent.
All right. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Good. Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? Good? All right. So my name is Safir Monroe, and I am the CEO and founder of Underlay. Now, before I get into the solution we provide, let me talk about the problem we are addressing. There are almost 800 million US travelers that are dissatisfied with the airport experience. And because of this dissatisfaction, airports lose almost $21 billion a year. So we'd work directly with the ground operations team to solve 4 key major airport problems, which is taxi and shuttle tracking, foot and vehicle traffic congestion, wrong paper reporting, and inconsistent manual invoicing. So we have built a customer relationship and fleet management tool to streamline these communication processes and replace at least 4 airport payment kiosks, automate over 30 manual Excel tasks, and help airports work with Fortune 500 companies like Hertz, Hilton, and the Marriott. So we take this information and create traffic AI agents as well as different AI agents within the airport, and we feed travelers real-time notifications based on internal information from ground operations. So we have a SaaS-based pricing model similar to Salesforce, to where we charge airports $50,000 a year and add added modules for $20,000 to $100,000 a year. And most of our features are free for passengers, but if passengers want added AI integration and added tools for their journey, we charge them $5 a month. So in Traction, we have generated 85,000K in ARR, and we have 408 users that are using our application annually. And this is across 4 airports in the US. So we have received a key to the city from the mayor of Miami and Beacon Council for the work that we have done. We have been featured on the Forbes 30 under 30 list recently, Fox News, ABC, up from revolutionizing travel technology across the world. In our GTM and sales strategy, we have used this press and news articles and taken our case studies to different conferences to get more airports, engage in different demos, and then after 2 to 3 months, close contract with airports. So our market size is over $100 billion globally, and there are 5,000 airports, 10,000 enterprises, and 19,000 cities that we are going to sell to expand across the US and the world. In the competitive landscape, Salesforce, CETA, Microsoft, and a lot of other companies build different tools for airports and data analytics, but we have 100% uptime across 4 airports, unlike a lot of competitors, and we've been able to deploy our solution in 1 week versus 6 weeks from like a lot of our competitors. So meet the team. I myself have worked for Delta Airlines for several years as a software engineer, and my team has over 30 years of experience within aviation sales and software engineering. So we have raised $362,000 for several angel investors like Chris Claus and Grammy Award-winning artists for Royal Williams and the Black Ambition Fund. So we are raising $2 million to supply us with 18 months of runway to reach $2 million in ARR, and majority of those funds will be to hire a sales team to scale our product across more airports. So thank you very much. Scan this for our website, and thank you for listening to Underlay.
Hey, Safir, great job. Just one question. On one of your slides, you had 50,000 is the current price, and it previously was 5. Is that just the new price increase, or?
Yeah, so to get our initial airports, we charge a lot less from our competitors to build up traction. But from the last airport, the Dallas Local Airport, we charge them $50K for a base price and $20,000 for modules, which is our regular price. And that's how we've been able to get to $85K. So the smaller airports, we charge $5K, but the bigger airport, we charge our regular price.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Yeah. So for your users, what is this? Is it a mobile app, like a chat bot, or what is this?
Oh, so it's an internal tool for the government. So most of my users are the ground operations team. Some might be guest services. In some airports, we have policemen and firefighters that use the application to ensure that passengers come very quickly. The city uses the police force to sometimes get unruly passengers because ground operations can't legally touch them, but they need the policemen too. So sometimes you might have like people jump into taxis and do some crazy things. So like they need to read our application to see, okay, who's who, what taxi, what placement happening, and then build that into a police report. So, okay. But most of our users are ground operators and the government.
Okay, thank you. Makes sense.
So great pitch. Loved it. Please solve the luggage problems for passengers and handlers. Would love not to wait and send it home and not deal with people at the airport. Hopefully one day you solve that too.
Thank you.
So I assume adoption is at regional, smaller airports initially. What's like the cycle to them, and how long does it take, and how long will it take you to grow to the larger airports, or would you always focus on regional, smaller airports that need efficiency?
Oh, definitely. It took us 2 or 3 months to get a lot of those airports, and the Dallas Love Field is actually a huge airport. It's the second largest in Dallas, but it's the top 30 airport in the nation. So it took us the same amount of time. So from small, medium, and large, it's the same type of integration. There's 2 or 3 months, and it's pretty good. But we see ourselves as being a tool that can easily scale to larger airports as well as global enterprises. So our smaller airports only have 1 million passengers, but Dallas Love Field has 17 million. So that's
sales cycle to them, not the integration it takes you to integrate to their systems.
Oh, okay, so sales cycle took about 2 or 3 months for these airports. It was very quickly. Sometimes if you go above 100K, sometimes the sales cycles could take a year if you go through RFP, but we have a modular system, so we can implement $50,000 and get in, and then scale across with the other amounts. So that's what we use. But every airport has that system. So like even smaller, medium size, or larger, they have the same laws, but we still can get in with our type of application because we built it modular versus building it as a one whole solution, kind of like Salesforce. Thank you very much.